A very warm welcome to the channel. Now, I have done 2 or maybe possibly 3 videos related to the BRI. The BRI is China's Belt and Road Initiative. Basically, they're trying to succeed in global dominance by going to developing countries in Southeast Asia, in East Europe, and in Africa, and saying, we will give you this money, you can have this infrastructure, but you pay it back at a high interest rate, and if you don't pay it back, we will seize the land from you. And it's all in a contract. And as far as I know, this has happened about 22 times, or these are failed, 22 times failures. And basically, China still gets the money, they possibly get the land, and the poor country like Montenegro, as we discussed before, or even Ecuador, as we discussed today, lose out, and they get a shoddy dam or a road to nowhere, and they would, if they want it finished, then guess what? They need more money. And the workers that come to do this, you could say 70% would be Chinese engineers, Chinese construction workers, and 30% of them would be local. So a lot of the money that's invested into the country related to the workers goes back into the country. The biggest problem with this all is corruption. Now, China is corrupt, we all know that. They will deny it and they say they wiped out corruption. But hey, look at the Panama Papers from 2016, where President Xi Jinping, or dictator Xi Jinping, got caught stealing in an indirect way money from the actual country. It's just a long story, but I'm sure you remember the Panama Papers. Here's the crazy thing. If you ask any of the Western media who work for the government in an indirect way, they will say, what is the Panama Papers? They got caught red-handed 2016. I found it quite funny when it happened. So with this title, China's green energy investments risk countries along the Belt and Road Initiative. We can go to the next article here and let's read it. As the end of June 2023, China has more than 200 documents on jointly building the BRI with 152 countries and 32 international organizations. According to different estimates, China has invested 1 trillion and the initiative has signed more than 3,000 corporate products. Now, again, this is going to be in developing countries. If a developing country's government who is known to be corrupt, basically, here's a lot of money, thank you very much, put it in the pocket, and the poor people would have to pay the tax over it, higher tax increases, and it all goes back to China. There is more benefit to China than there is to the country, and it's not a equal device. Another article from Voice of America. With projects estimated more than 1 trillion American dollars, the BRI has fallen short of 5 goals. Policy coordination, capital allocation, infrastructure connectivity, trade facilitation, and people-to-people bonds, some analysts say. So that's what it's aiming for, or they say it's aiming for. China loves to talk the talk, but very rarely would you see them walk the walk. And how many times have we seen some of these Belt and Road initiatives going on? We can name a couple here. Failed projects include the port in Kazakhstan and the other port in Sri Lanka. Basically, they couldn't afford the loan, so China owns the port. Sri Lanka gets nothing from it, and they will own the port for a lease of 99 years, something like that. We also I did 2 of these projects for, we get there in a minute. China is the largest bilateral lender in the world. Loans are backed by the rights to mine or port or money. Things like that, basically. And their interest rate, we found out, is a whopping 7%. Montenegro, as we discussed before, is 7%, but then they got out of it by borrowing money from the European Union, and it was only 0.88%, which is a lot different. Do go and check out these videos I made. The links are in the description below. China's Belt and Road scam, $1 billion highway to nowhere. And also, China built dam in Ecuador has 17,000 cracks. The Coco Dam in Ecuador in Southeast, sorry, not Southeast Asia, but in South America. And you can go and check these out online and you can see I'm not telling porcupines. This is actually what happens with the Belt and Road Initiative. The Philippines have pulled out of the BRI. Basically, they wanted a train system. I could say this is in Manila. It's going up to somewhere in that particular island. But the train system is not an absolute necessity. You have 7,100 islands in the Philippines. So boat and plane or ships and planes are going to be the most essential with that. The levels of failure are different, but all have one commonality: corruption, corruption, and corruption. So this kind of stuff is never put on Chinese media. It's because it's state-owned, it's state-controlled, it's only the positive. They won't show you the corruption of what happened in the Chinese government. They won't show you the corruption in the developing country that they're doing a deal with. And they always seem to do it with third world countries or the countries that really hate America, like Iran, for example, or Syria, perhaps, I don't know, but definitely sort of Iran. And China wants to be the good guys. But surely this needs to be a world thing, not just one country loading a bucket load of money, which a lot of countries do, but they do it at a respectable interest rate. But China does it at a whoppingly ridiculous high rate of 7%. Imagine your mortgage per month being at 7%. Woo, you'll be paying it for a lifetime. Per year for a mortgage, 7%, that's still quite high. Italy pulled out of the BRI, or the Belt and Road Initiative, because nothing was happening and it was just too slow and a waste of money. So it's the only country in the European Union, I do believe, that it was the only member of the BRI, and they pulled out of it because nothing really happened. And because they're in the European Union, they're going to be supported by the European Union, and you could say, can I say, like the Western world, including the United States. It's food for thought, and this is like behind the scenes of what happens in China. Now, I'm not just talking BS. You can follow all these facts through different articles, through different experts, etc. And please do, if you like my work, give it a thumbs up, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification button, and make sure all is on notification, because sometimes I may make 2 videos or 3 videos a day. And if you do want to support my work, the links are in the description below how you can support me on Super Thanks, becoming a member, or even on Patreon. Thank you to all. Have a most epic day wherever you are. Bye-bye for now.